remove Mexico, and get on with it. So, welcome. This is the latest Longplay that's been voted on. The Germans came in their droves to elect this as the next one we play. Railway Empire. Never played this game before. It's been created by Gaming Minds. Gaming Minds, as I'm certain you are well aware of, put together Patrician 4, a game that dominated my life for an unhealthy amount of time. I put together the most comprehensive Let's Play of that game that there ever has been, and likely ever will be. But that game's over a decade old. Railway Empire is much more recent. I think this is a 2018 release. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm actually clicking to check out. Yes, indeed, 2018, Railway Empire. Very positively received. Tom Steedman submitted this towards the Longplay suggestions. They said, Railway Empire, it's an economy sim. And they said, you did Patrician 4 and you will create an elaborate and wide-ranging rail network. Purchase over 40 different trains modelled in extraordinary detail, and buy or build railway stations, maintenance buildings, factories and tourist attractions to keep your travel network ahead of the competition. They estimated a long play length of 35 hours. That was word for word what they typed here. It was a bit disorienting to read it itself, but I guess that's what we're in for. Now, I don't know how big this game is or how to really structure a long play of it, so I'm just going to go through the campaign until whatever feels natural is naturally done. I might even find myself picking up... Hold on, here we go. Picking up the DLC to play their other stuff like Mexico, Great Lakes, South America. They gated a lot of stuff behind DLC, it seems. It looks like all you really get in the base game is the USA and Great Britain, which is a shame, because once I get a feel for the game, I'm probably really going to want to go down under, or put the... Oh man, the Japanese split. I hear that understanding Japanese mass electricity production consumption is something that cannot be understood. But that's something to consider once we actually get our teeth into the game. For now, let's start campaign, and start at the very start. Chapter 1, great play. Oh, Tom Steeden is there in chat. Well, welcome. They say, sorry, Jake, I am dyslexy Dutchman. Dutch. I understand now. Why are there so many Dutch and so many Germans? It's beyond me. I mean, in the chat, that is. Zergel says, to be honest, I only voted here because I'm German and want German train game. I understand, Zergel. First chapter takes you to the construction sites of the Union Pacific Railroad, which started in 1863. Tracks were built westwards to establish the first transcontinental rail line. Whilst you're conquering the vastness of the Great Plains and the heights of the Rocky Mountains, your tracks, you'll learn a bit basic... Okay, I'm not really familiar with this period of American history. I mean, to claim that America has history, whew. I guess we're going to get acquainted with it here. The game pauses automatically when you... The game never pauses. You can pause the game at any time, but oh, thank God. I'm going to go with that. I don't care if that's a more... Ooh.
Tables, figures, and hard facts.
What? Anyway, I don't care if it's more casual. I like being able to pause my games. Especially when I can stop and think that way. You're too Dutch and German, Jake, even if you don't want to be. I really don't.
Time is money.
Alright, this extremely effeminate industrialist insists that we get moving. What is our name? Our name is Marvin Branagh. Am I spelling that right?
I did an evaluation
Of course I am. Good.
I am the best choice.
As for the name of our company... Oh, we can't change it though. We're stuck with Union Pacific Railroad. Alright, let's go, Marvin. I wonder if we can change that name between the levels.
In 1863, on the banks of the Missouri River, the last chapter in the monumental undertaking of the Transcontinental Railroad began. The workers of the Union Pacific Railroad began laying their tracks westward from Omaha through the wild heart of the North American continent.
Yeah, the game voices are quiet. That's a shame.
Massive
I think I
challenges
bumped
awaited
up to 100 anyway.
Away from all civilization, the country was vast, the weather ruthless, and the challenges tremendously energy-sapping. But there was a masterstroke of modern engineering to be accomplished. To tame the wilderness and to conquer it with steel, fire, and steam. Never before had anything like this been ventured, but the time was ripe.
Greetings. My name is Thomas Clark Durand. Exactly, the head of Union Pacific. We will go down in history as the ones who created the Transcontinental Railroad. And that, my friend, is your job as chief engineer. I can't supervise everything here on site right now, as I have to meet with some politicians in Washington. First, you should familiarize yourself with the basic controls. Move the camera in all directions. Now test the camera's zoom function. You can also rotate the camera. Give it a try. Very good. Now you know the basic controls. Your first task is to create a rail connection between Omaha and Norfolk to the northwest. Both cities will need a station for this. You already have a station in Omaha, but you still need to build one in Norfolk. To do this, switch to building construction mode.
Never in my life have I heard people say Norfolk like this, but I don't want to pull a Euristo here about the how to say Mercia. Right, build a what here? Probably a small train station. And can we rotate you? Of course we can. Looks like I could just hammer down on all these houses if I really wanted to as well, but let's just put it there. Oh!
Now the two stations need to be connected with tracks. To do this, switch to track construction mode.
There's one thing Gaming Minds was never good at, and that was making roads in their games. I wonder if it'll be better here. Maybe that's why they switched to a hex-based system for Port Royale.
The stations in Norfolk and Omaha. To do this, select the two station tracks one after the other. Then pay for your track planning.
Right, this, since we're in obviously tutorial level, I want to get some curiouses out of the way. Curiouses? Some curiosities out of the way. If I just plow through this, what are you? Meat industry. Will it move or just be destroyed? Tracks, earthworks, tunnel bridge. Okay, nothing coming up there.
Now create your first train so that you can set up a rail line between
your stations. Did it move to here? Possibly. Create your first train. I create a train?
Initially, your train only exists on paper. It's not much use to you without a locomotive.
So I can get myself a Philadelphia choo-choo here. I shall purchase that. Sure. Looks like a lot of cool things I can do for it, but
additionally,
not right now.
Each train needs a rail line that passes through all the stations it should stop at. Now join your two stations to the rail line by selecting them one after the other. That's enough for your first rail line. Now confirm it so it becomes active. Very good. Now you can see the journey your train will take. If there is something to transport, the train will automatically take it.
How cute. So we got the Norfolk Omaha being loaded up. Surely there's going to be a way to...
However, as
here we go.
Locomotive needs water, sand, and lubricant on its journey, you have to place a supply tower along the route.
Yes! Good, we can ride along. It's severely limited in the angles that we can check here, but we can. And can whistle the train itself. That looks quite good. I'm certain there are other games that are given better, well, more freedom in how you look around here, because this is so limited. You got like 45 degrees on either side here, and maybe 30 degrees up and down. Kind of a shame. And this is as far as one can zoom in from here. Was there another option there? Center on train. There we go, that's a bit closer. Nice. Far cheaper than having your own model railway in the basement. He was telling me to do something. He wants us to have a supply depot. And that I can do.
Very good. Your train is now traveling between Omaha and Norfolk. But you can do even more.
Norfolk.
Each city needs goods from the surrounding area. For example, every city needs corn. Look, there is a corn farm near Omaha. Until now, the corn has made it to the city in the conventional way, but we want to change that. Now construct a rural train station in the marked location with a corn farm within its radius.
Is this a rural one? It's just train station rather than small train station, but it is bigger. Looks like as long as it's within the radius there in green. Okay, I think green is good. Is green good? It's all showing up as red there. Is red good? Don't know. Oh, looks like small train station is a similarly viable option here. Very well. How do I want the angling here? That should do us just fine.
Now connect the new rural train station to the station in Omaha.
I can hear my PC chugging at this. Madness.
And now things are getting tricky as we have to deal with a logistical problem. As Norfolk should also enjoy fresh corn, there will soon be 2 trains traveling on the stretch of track between Omaha and Norfolk. Of course, this will then result in a conflict. Since trains cannot travel through each other, you'll need a sidetrack between Omaha and Norfolk. This consists of 1 parallel track and 2 signals. First, create a sidetrack. It needs to be at least long enough for a fully loaded train.
What, and bypass the supply tower? That doesn't seem like a clever idea. But it wants me to build it there and there. Right, sidetrack it is then. Over we go, and back in we go. Oh right, I need to actually pay for it. Remembering to confirm it.
Excellent.
Is something I'm going to
However,
forget
your
often.
trains won't necessarily use the
Ooh, it
sidetrack,
supplies
as
both.
They generally always
Clever.
take the shortest route. For this
Very
reason,
clever.
you'll also have to specify the direction of travel on each parallel track. Now open building construction mode and set up a signal in the highlighted area pointing in the direction of the switch.
Interesting
Trains will then be
that
able
that
to
was
stop
the
here when
shortest
single
one for you.
track is in use.
Okay, open signal construction. Oh god, signaling. Took me a while to get this in Factorio, but get it I eventually did. So, you want to explain signals? Signals work stopping, signals specify the direction of travel and a section of track. Okay, so that little cone there shows the direction. I see. I mean, that'll work. Very basic setup, it'll work. For detail, see triptychs. Nah, we're fine. So I would want a signal here and a signal here. How do I switch it around? Shift and there we go.
Now make sure that the track can only be traveled in one direction. For this purpose, set the signal so the trains coming from the opposite direction cannot pass.
Didn't I just do that? Quite certain I just did that. Oh dear. Oh, I'm doing something very wrong here. Let's get rid of you and rethink that one. That seems fine. And that seems fine. What is not right here?
Excellent.
Ah, okay.
Now do the same on the parallel track so that each parallel track has a different direction. Place a second signal in the highlighted area and block the track to trains coming from the opposite direction. Very good. I'm sure that wasn't at all easy. You will soon come to realize that signals are an important aid in guaranteeing smooth rail operations. You will find more information and tips under Hints and Tips.
Or I could just ride along with the train.
Now assemble a new train.
I hope there's a
and give it
mod to
locomotive
open
and a
up
rail
the
line.
degrees
Your
of
new
view
rail
here.
line
This
should
is
run
tiny.
via Omaha to Norfolk so that the people of Norfolk can be supplied with corn.
I like this view. Oh, makes me feel like I'm on a roller coaster. Not as many loop-de-loops though. Assemble a new train, give it a locomotive, a rail line to the rural through, so the people of Norfolk can be supplied with corn. New rail, give it a locomotive. Trying to understand what I'm... We already have a train going from Norfolk to Omaha. Why does he want a new one? Something's clearly gone over my head, but he says we should make a new one, and a new one we shall have. Maybe it's just making sure that you understood what you're doing here. And then we want a new rail line. Couldn't we have one from here? Oh, right. From the rural train station, the one at Evans Farm, to here, and to here.
Excellent.
Make it
the
happen.
corn farm will automatically make use of your train because the cities along your rail line are demanding corn. Conventional transportation is much more costly for the farm. We're still missing something. Locomotives wear out over time and need to be regularly maintained so they can perform their duties more reliably. For this purpose, there needs to be at least one maintenance building on each rail line where locomotives can be serviced if necessary. Construct such a maintenance building at your station in Omaha now. To do this, select the station itself and expand the station with this building. Right, we've been lollygagging for long enough. I need to return to Washington for further miserable negotiations with our representatives of the people. I've written a task list for you. Take a look at it and complete the tasks within the given time period. Do not disappoint me.
Where Americans in chat, where is this guy meant to be from? His voice is, or his accent is a little unbeknownst to me. Okay, so this train should stop here because the signal's going to say, whoa, no, path ahead is not clear. This feels like a very inefficient setup here. Very, very inefficient. And we have this set up all over the north of Scotland. Tiny little bypass lanes. He's definitely not American, he's Amish. Genericville, America. The dev is German, it's a German trying to sound American. I don't know. They tried German sounding all sorts of nationalities in Patrician 4. Now, those were the days. Alright, where's my task list? Here's my task list. He's giving me tips and tricks. How very nice. Wait, gamepad? People play this with a controller? Okay. Connect Omaha and North Platte. Connect Omaha and Chien. Deliver loads of cattle and meat to Denver and Chien. Connect 150,000 people. I guess I could get on that, but I'm going to get lost if I keep having to open this to re-look at these. Oh well, let's connect ourselves over to North Platte. Where is that? Here's North Platte. It's even got something telling me I have to do that by a certain time. Whoa! Do this by 1962? Chings, we can seriously hamper industrialization of America here. I could change the world. But I'd rather fatten my own wallet, so I guess we'll get on that. Building construction, just a wee train station will do you fine. And to think you're coming in from there, so here you go. Where it really needs to be close in there, doesn't it? Gaming mines and roads. Well, it's still probably better than what we got in Patrician. Alright. Let's get tracky.
Good. That's finished. You're making progress.
I definitely maybe am. I should probably do the same thing with another Passover lane around here. Whoa. Interesting fog effect. Let's get ourselves another passing lane here. I'd rather just have everything at 2 lanes. That would make more sense to me. Confirm that. And signals are building. I guess it doesn't really matter which direction either of these go. So let's say you'll have to stop here and stop here. What was changing the direction of it again? Shift. There we go. And then there was something about shift or control clicking them to make them do some kind of directional thing. There we go. Shift click. Shift click. Very good. And yet not good enough. I should get myself a new train. And then set myself up a new rail line from North Thingamajigger to Norfolk to Omaha. Get on it. No, Priamos. I don't like doing gambling too often. I feel it cheapens the experience if you just have gambles for each and everything. Ward Manor. So this looks a lot like what we had in Patrician, but we're using trains instead of boats. Well, maybe not necessarily, because cities and these production areas, like the corn farm and the not corn farm, are independent of the cities themselves. Then again, if you try to imagine that this is us inside City Builder view, and this is us on Hanseatic view, then I could see the relation between this and Patrician, which makes sense. Again, same developers. Not really looked into the towns themselves here. One size city, it's got inhabitants, are trending up. Demand. Small train station, they got a brewery. Okay, looks like you can have 3 different manufactories going? Do like the brewing, but brewing requires grain. Tell me more about yourself. But how much grain can you make? You're 100% utilized. I don't know what these bars mean. But in short, you're going to have a demand for grain. So I'm left wondering... Wait, what are my tasks left? Connect Omaha and Cheyenne. Well, because the sooner I do that, probably the better. The game has given me a butt ton of money. Is there a difficulty setting? Hints, tooltips, Not seeing anything about straight up difficulty. What difficulty did I play Patrician on? I think I just played it on normal mode, because all hard mode did was add fires. It did more than that, but it felt like that's all it did. This is the big train station, but these farms are quite far away from each other. What about large? Not large enough. Terminal? City only. It's a little bit tempting to set these things up between these places and get these coming in. I mean, look at this guy. There's meat to be had, and they did mention wanting meat. I mean, I want meat. And veggies, But I wonder, if I drop things off in, say, Omaha... I mean, does this farm, can I take it to Omaha and then it goes further, or is it only going to give what Omaha wants in terms of meat? Don't know. Maybe I'd need to do a patrician-style thing where I have a warehouse that accepts... Oh no, it's digging into me. This kind of game has the skeleton key for my heart, and it just lets itself in. Okay, let's try and keep our head with progress here, rather than getting excited about hub-based distribution networks. Connect Omaha and the Chechnyans. Where are they at? You're them. Okay, well, I'll get right on that. The reward is fat. This talk about reward... Okay, the music's too good. I've got it too low here, don't I? Max out that voice. Oh, the videos thing was probably what was killing it before. The effects are fine, but... that kind of plinky-plonk is quite nice. I wonder if we get Oriental plinky-plonky for Japan. And no, Oriental is not a bad word. It means from the Orient. Alright, what do we have here? Feels like somewhere that I should be plowing through. What do you even do here? Jackson Trow of... what do you produce anyway? Salt. Iron. Why, those two could be combined. You're Occidental. There we go. Small doesn't seem big enough to get them both, but a regular train station? Oh no, this is just insulting. It's just slightly too far away to attach both of them. A large train station, on the other hand, could get both. Let's do it. We have the money, probably. Oh, wow. We can have a lot of lanes here. Cool. Well, let's connect you up. And connect you up. And just for that, we got our big fat
Those
bonus.
Politicians in Washington get on one's nerves. But now let's get back to your tasks. As you can see, Cheyenne is still a little town hoping for an upswing caused by the railroad connection, but a city will only attract new inhabitants if it is supplied with enough goods.
Way
Cities
ahead of you.
receive basic goods from the surrounding area. If you construct stations in the right places and establish rail lines, your trains will be used to transport goods and you will make profits for transportation. But for this, you have to know what goods a city actually needs. You can find out any city's current needs. Now select Cheyenne and view the city's demand for goods.
Sure.
As you can
City's
see,
demand?
Cheyenne currently needs only a handful of goods, and you can only deliver goods that are in demand. As the city grows, it will demand further goods. At the moment, you can supply grain and wood. Both of these goods are available to the north of Cheyenne. Connect
So,
Cheyenne to
they don't
a
want my
timber
salt
business
or my
and a wheat
iron.
farm and establish a new rail line that connects them both to Cheyenne.
How dare this game try and tell me what to do? How big a train station do we need? Yeah, regular is just a bit too small. Needs to be large and in charge. As for connecting you up, I feel that this is going to be just a little bit awkward, but I can do awkward. And his voice, he sounds Dutch now that I think about it. The guy's voice screams Dutchman to me. And I don't like people screaming Dutchman at me. That is grim. Achievement unlocked. I'll scratch your back if. What do they mean by that? Alright, well I've connected you up, but now you're almost certainly going to need another train here. Good thing these trains aren't so incredibly expensive. I think it was Transport Fever, where the trains are very pricey. You've got to make sure that you are doing the right thing with them.
Well done. The city will soon grow. You can see how well it is being supplied at any time in the city dialogue. Basically, a city will grow once its demands are sufficiently met. I think you have learned enough. Complete the rest of your tasks.
I don't think they voiced the 60% more part because that's a kind of game balance thing that they would not... Why is this showing up? Go away. They don't want to voice balance things like that in case it changes. Well, you're loading up on lots of wood, but I would hope that there's... Okay, no, just ignore the massive sacks of grain here. They clearly need more wood. Oh, that is kind of how I operate. It's all about that wood economy. This is quite nice. I just wish there was more freedom on how we look around. I'm going to have to look in and see if this is moddable in some way, because I want to look all the way around, not the tiny degree of vision that I'm given here. Wait, I think something happened when I... No, that's just WASD. Yeah, I have skimped on the signaling, but I'll get on it. I wonder if you can have crashes in this. Also, that's pretty bad. It doesn't even quite fit in the... Oh, right, it stopped. It stopped because I opened this up. It's going to be a problem if a train is here and another train wants to go up there. But that's not a problem right now. And who knows, it might not be a problem here at all. Deliver cattle to Denver. Reach your population in Chien. Connect Omaha with Rock Springs. It'll be fine. This guy's just going back and forth here to bring all the lumber and grain this place could ever need. Problem for future Jake to solve. Solve indeed, Morcus. He'll get on it, and he'll like it. The map feels a little small. Hopefully they get bigger. Especially when we're in glorious Nippon. Information. The better city is supplied by rail. Yeah, I get that. Ah, crumbs. I threw away the wrong information there. But this is nice. These things stay around until I delete them. Build city stations in the center to attract as many passengers as possible. Build the train station as close as possible to industries to reduce loading times. There's loading time between industry and train station. Cool. Alright, now the grain economy is going. Because our goal is to grow Chien. Chien Shinhan. Fulfillment demand looks fairly good. Could it be better? Yeah, probably. Where are those moo cows of ours? Here you are. Now again, I don't quite know. Do I want you going to there and to there and to there on separate lines, or will one line go through A-OK? For example, it seems like you're unloading absolutely everything into here. For now. According to Steam, this game is similar to EU4 Not a comparison I would have made. A very incorrect comparison. So are you actually working for me, train station? Because... what a way to store the salt. Just shove it in there. Scoop it out with a trawl. With a trawl? With a shovel. Fascinating, but something I need to do is deliver these cows. Where did you want them again? Deliver cattle to Denver. And I'm assuming that you create cattle? You do. Lots of it as well. Now, where's Denver? Isn't Denver in Colorado? Isn't Denver the capital of Colorado? I'm going to be showing off my lack of knowledge here. Oh god, finding places is going to be hard. This is a real problem I had with Port Royale 4. Like, if I don't know where everywhere is, and I don't, not in the Caribbean, then finding them is a right rotten pain in the rear end. And maybe there's an easy way to find them, but I'm not seeing it. Oklahoma City. I knew some Okies. They were very friendly, but ultimately very strange people. Is there a search function? Good question. Could this thing go away? This goes through the trains. How very nice. Engine shed. Research. Need to get innovations. Oh, where have I heard of this before? Similar to EU4, you say? Company tasks, tips and tricks. Don't know why this is highlighted. Oh no, this is highlighted. Why? I don't want to rename it. You keep going over it. It's south of Chien. Oh, that's Denver. I thought it said Denvit. Right, well, glad we figured that one out. Now let's get it cattled. Oh, how convenient. There's a ranch and... Oh, it's Victoria. Unrest in New York. The populace does not want to go to war. New troop conscriptions. Unrest has broken out. The immigrants in New York, of course. The option of being released from this military service for a payment of $300. It's a rich man's war and a poor man's fight. Ah. Optimistic the unrest will soon die down. Objectors will be convinced to mobilize. Sorry, it is not your time. Okay, let's get ourselves a regular train station. This is just ants. I can't quite reach them both with a small one, and a big one won't quite get me my cotton. You're cotton, right? Yeah, I wouldn't mind some cotton, but maybe Denver wants cotton. Maybe they don't. Let's find out. No, they want cattle and maize. What makes them want cotton? Probably needs to be industry to make them happy for some cotton. How about some sugar? Do you want sugar, Denver? Sugar is demanded when... 30,000. Well, we'll get you to 30,000, Denver. Hell, you're almost at 30,000 now. I wonder if a regular train station could help you too. No, it can't. What a pity. Gotta go large just to get these. So if I go large, put a large one here, swing it round into you and then up to there, that should work. But large is just... Why don't I just build two small ones, actually? Much cheaper than the large one. Yeah, you know, that makes almost too much sense. Why don't I just shove this right in the center so I can bulldoze down half of Denver? There we go. This is the kind of power fantasy we're looking for here. Oh, it just occurs to me that I haven't been putting supply towers down. And those are probably quite important. So why don't I just put one around here? There we go. That should be able to supply everyone that goes that far out and head up over there. Also, I realized that there's nowhere for these people to get maintenance from either. But I can't seem to upgrade the small train station that I put here. Maybe only certain train stations can get that. Or maybe I wasn't looking in the right place. Expand station. Construct maintenance building. That was the one. Maintenance building. Enjoy. You want plenty of depots so your 100-year-old horses don't catch fire. I think that's the wrong game, but I could be wrong. But I likely do want more supply towers. Oh no, it would have been better here so I could catch them on both sides of this. Can I undo that? How do I undo you? Do I get my money back? 282. You'll get a 30,000 refund. How much did it cost me? 30k. Wow. I am the master businessman. There we go. Alright, it's all looking borderline okay right now. But I want to hook up Denver. Now there are doubtlessly people in chat that can feed us a fact or two about Denver. Please do if you can. Ooh, I like that curvature. Get in there. Yeah, I think two small ones here is going to be far better. What happens if I mow down part of your field? Ah, the field moves. Now that's nice. That's really nice. Better than just having the whole thing collapse in itself. That seems really, really tight. Its nickname is the Mile High City. Is that because it has very tall buildings? Denver is the only American city with AV in its name if you ignore all the others. What? Madness. I don't really think this needs signaling at all. Nah. I'm just going to have myself a new locomotive. And this locomotive is going to have a line from Kelly's Ranch to Denver to the preserve, then to Denver. Get on it. And because I'm not a total monster, I will ensure that you get your supplies. And I better make sure that they get a maintenance building here. Oh, it costs money that I don't have. Where'd all my money go? Well, I hope I'm actively making money here. Come to think of it, why did I give them sugar? They don't want or need sugar right now. Mother forgets child. Oh, and away went the newspaper. I wonder if we can see those again somewhere. I wonder if anywhere offers big money for connection that I've not done yet. Yeah, it looks like the game does have speed up and it's mapped to plus. But this seems to be the only speed that it goes at. Regular and looks like twice as fast. There's a step on the state capitol building that's exactly 1,609 meters above sea level, hence the Mile High City. Oh, there we go. Unloading goods seems to translate directly to money in my pocket. And that's my favorite translation. The Collins family's gotten in touch with you. The rural business is currently experiencing difficulties. Would you stake all your money on the business? What do you mean by that? What is stake? Oh, take over. Take over the business. Well, I'd rather not. I'd really rather not. Private ownership. So, much like in Patrician, I assume we can take direct control, and that'll be good for reasons. Here's a maintenance building, but stop costing me too much money. It's a nice price if it's near your lines, perhaps, but it's all the money I currently have. And I'd rather have a bit of dosh to play around with as I get to know the game better. I wonder if I can come to own these towns a bit more and... Whoa, what happened to the... Something happened there, right? I wasn't imagining that. What happened? I feel like this game really lacks panning. I'd like to be able to pan with the mouse, instead I gotta pan with WASD. It's on the upswing, and they're very well supplied. How about you, Denver? Very unsupplied. Well, that's a damn shame now, isn't it? There was a massive sign that said it grew. How nice. Okay, what am I not doing now that I should be doing? That cattle should be going to Denver. Hell, half of it made it there. We've almost connected this many people in our network. I need to deliver meat to Chini. When you say meat, are you telling me that Kelly's ranch work is not meaty enough for you? Ah, well here's the ticket. Denver produces meat. Denver, are you part of any rail network here? How can I check the rail lines that I have? I wonder if I could repurpose one of the... random breakdown? I don't like the sound of that. I don't like the sound of that at all. How about I manage your rail line? I wonder what caused you to break down. You've got this supply tower right here. Cheyenne, there we go. Do you have a train going between all of your cities? No, not currently.
Yes, one more thing. Your company has also a research department to help you unlock new locomotives and other innovations. Open the research dialogue to find out more about it.
Are they also going to randomly break down like this? It's a bit excessive. And you were the one I wanted to connect Denver with Cheyenne, right? How do I change your rail line? Manage train is the train itself. Rename the rail line. How do I edit the rail line, though? Okay, setup includes editing. Great. I also want you to go to here. And then maybe back there. Brilliant. Get it done. Make it so. Then you're going to take all the meat from Denver to Cheyenne, and you should have that done in about half a year.
Here you will find the advances that can be achieved in the current era. Advances from previous eras are usually already active, but what the future holds, we do not know.
Well, looks like we know.
Well done. The citizens of Denver are impressed by the railroad. For each advance, you require innovation points, which you get automatically each month, and which can be increased in various ways. Now, take a look around here, and then unlock an innovation of your choosing. How about a new locomotive?
I don't know how to really like a T-bone steak right now. So how am I meant to get that? Where is my... Where are my innovation points? Oh, I have 100 of them. Aha, right. So I could take this, for example. I could get myself a Dragon 080. A special type of axle suspension on this locomotive offers the advantage that the drive wheels can also be steered. Eh? Combining a high driving force, good performance on bends, better traction power, better speed. Just plain better. But what do you do? Express trains. By intentionally designing some train lines in a way that long distances can be covered in a short time possible, public interest in railing is increased. The number of passengers in every city where your company has a station increases by... Well, I'm more on the freights right now. Ooh, wow, this drags around. What is this? Covered freight cars? The Grasshopper 040? I don't know any of these things, because I know nothing about trains. But it looks cool. What does the future hold? Ooh, scroll wheel works here as well. We can get ourselves an EMD E-unit diesel. Or a Hudson 464. Or a Super Hudson. How cute. Alright, swell. Let's have ourselves a dragon. Super Hudson. That's one sexy train.
My own pockets. These are, of course, hideous lies. And look at it this way. With the profits I'm making, I can invest much more. Jobs, jobs, jobs.
What are you bringing down for Denver? Ah, beer. Tell me, Denver, do you like beer? Well, I know it's American beer, but still, it looks like you have a bit of demand for it. Weekly production... Oh, you actually produce a little bit yourself? There are some core concepts here that are flying over my head a bit.
I have to wrangle with a lot of competitors, but if one person really gets on my nerves, then it's that Beatrix von Pomp. What? You haven't encountered her yet? Be glad. She takes everyone to the cleaners.
That intonation on his voice just when he finishes sentences sounds so much like Nitro, it's unreal. Which is why I'm starting to think he's a bit Dutch. And any amount of Dutch is too much. Okay, making fat loads of cash feels pretty good. But I would like to understand a bit more about the supply and stocking of a city. The implication seems to be that I can get myself a warehouse. That kind of looks like a warehouse. Maybe it works like that, maybe it doesn't. Engine shed, what? Ooh! Did I get a free dreadnought, free dragon when I researched it? Because if I did, that's very nice. I think we will create a new line with you. How about you, Dodge City? This offer expires in February next year, so I should probably get on that. Wichita sounds like a horrible place. What do you even do? Barely anyone lives here. I mean, I could go full circle, connect Denver up with Dodge City and right up to Omaha. This was beer before the Americans lynched all the Germans. It might actually be of acceptable quality, says John Collins. Didn't think about it that way, and now I wish I had. That's an excellent point. Okay, what I'm going to do is this. And then I'm going to do this. Ooh, they even refunded me for old railway tracks. Delightfully devilish. Alright. Okay. Is this where the phrase getting the hell out of Dodge came from? Is it Dodge City? Even if that's not true, I'll believe it, because it's what I want to believe. There you go. Oh, dear lord, that costs a lot. No wonder they're paying me so much for it. Okay, could I save drastically on the costs? by connecting you up through here. Extremely drastically. But I can't because it plows right through the... Oh, that's nasty. That is super nasty. I can't actually get out of here because of that. Okay, well then, let's propose an alternative. You can manually edit the lines to avoid a lot of costs. You don't say. Apparently that still doesn't work. Is this like some kind of marshland that I can't build through? Oh no, it's the grazing area for the cattle. I see, I see. It still doesn't really like me going through these though. However you cut it though, it's going to be a little bit awkward getting in here. There we go, probably worth it for the bonus, so let's pay and build that. We'll need a little bit more than that though. Let's have some really rudimentary signals going on here. How would that work then? If you're coming along here, chugga 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 chugga, you don't want getting in their way. So... something like that will probably do. And the supply tower already exists here. Good enough. So let's have a new rail line from getting out of Dodge into Denver. Great. Oh, it needs a locomotive. Oh, I've got a spare Philadelphia? Where'd you come from? It matters not, you're getting the Dragon.
Excellent. Cheyenne is becoming a major railroad hub, and the credit is all ours.
Oh, I'd need to buy it? I thought I had one. I'm pretty sure the engine shed says I have this. Oh, what? That still cost me. Oh, I don't like that. New connections. Yeah, I'm pretty good. Easy now. What am I missing here? Ah, whatever. I'll just set you up like so. There we go. And that should get me this fat stack of money. Oh, wait. No, that's not for connecting it. That's a bonus for new industry. Oh, dang. Oh, double dang. I don't know how to get you a new industry. So you'll just have to make do. The guy was praising me, but I must have missed anything. Oh, it was probably because Cheyenne grew. Connect Omaha and Rock Springs. Transport passengers from Cheyenne to Rock Springs. Well, these ones are going to get done real soon. So the next thing I need to do is link up with Rock Springs. Now, where are Rock Springs? Here are Rock Springs. And what was the specifics of doing that? Cheyenne to Rock Springs passengers. This is no pleasure cruise, folks. Make me some money. Not the biggest fan of how the locomotives instantly pull a 180 on their tracks.
Do you know that many people call the vast stretch of land between the Mississippi and California the Great American Desert? Those fools. Once my railroad has opened everything up, the value of these lands will go through the roof.
Something seems strange about that. Well, it matters not. Grab your sugar, honey, honey, and get moving. I wonder if you can have crashes, though, if you mess up your signaling. That'd be kind of cool. And should probably be done here, given that I have more trains coming along here now. I said it was Future Jake's problem, and now I am Future Jake. Yeah, that'll probably do. Actually, that's going to be a problem if somebody's coming this way, and there's another train coming this way. You've stopped there, probably because... yeah, because this guy's coming this way. I don't like my signals here whatsoever. They're too basic. Give me Factorio signaling, please. Some games have options for that magical 180. Maybe this one does as well. Tooltip subtitles center trains automatically? Center them? I think that's a camera thing. Maybe not. Contour lines? Oh well. I might not like it, but it's also probably going to be good for me, since I'm not very good with trains. Well, Bango's our opportunity for making more money off of Dodge City, but it's all connected up, so it's fine. Now, we gotta worm our way through here with another train station. Just a wee one for you for now. Let me just demolish some people's homes to make way for it. Wood, weak foundation buildings. The finger of God will come down and sort these guys out. So I need you to go to here. And I need it to not cost $900,000. So let's just plan ourselves around here. Splendid, chat. But I do need to actually earn the money to do that. And earn it I shall. You can build very sturdy houses with wood. You can even build skyscrapers with it, says Marvin. Yes, but not from American, says John Collins. Are you American, John Collins? Ooh, North Plate grows. I hope it grows in money that they're willing to give me. What are you carrying, anyway? Passengers, meat, and mail. All good things. You know, I was a little worried that I wasn't going to like this game when I picked it up. Those worries have flown out the window. This looks pretty good. That said, we're not yet at the point of mass production.
Now you've managed to cross the Great Plains. A masterpiece.
Beautiful, unique, and godlike. Now, let's find out what happens if we go into debt. Actually, let's save before I do that. Just in case debt is like an instant game over. I will build a supply tower to try that out. The answer is you just can't build if you're out of cash. Fair enough. I'm trying to remember how Patrician handled debt. I can't remember. At all. Probably not important. I want a dedicated rail for Chien to the other place. Mass rail production? Ridiculous. One railroad is enough. Resident Evil Outbreak quotes. Get me through any day. Not that I need help with that. Probably not worth putting up a supply tower before I've actually put up a locomotive. And this loco is going to cost me 53 grand. I can review all the stuff that's been done here, and they all appear to be making me big, fat, juicy profits, although some could certainly be fatter. Dodge City and... You don't even exist. I should just delete this train. Is there an actual train on it? No, there are no trains on it. Then let's just get rid of it. The train will be removed immediately and the loaded freight train returned. But there are no trains on it. It's not being made. It's Dodge City to Denver, which we made another one of. Okay, good. Then I can't just get rid of you. Oh, where'd all this fat stack of money come from? Right. Dragoon, let's get rolling. Is there a way to quickly go to make line from here? Feels a shame having to close it and then go into setup menu from there, but oh well. Make it so. And let's get signaling. These signals suck. Either I'm doing them very wrongly, or I don't have the right tools to make considerably better signals. I managed to finally get signaling in Factorio, and now I feel like I'm sent back to square one. Not seeing anything signaling related here. You have to put signals along the entire track. Nonsense. You could do them better. Most likely. Also, if I just expanded this station, I could probably just cut out that altogether just by having a separate route rather than signaling here at all. But ifs and buts and coconuts. Here's your supply tower. At this point, I can probably just fast forward my way to glorious victory here. That meat will soon be brought to Cheyenne, and at some point, we're going to get these people from Cheyenne to Rock Springs. There's our train, dropping off all of Rocky Springs stuff, I think. And now you're loading up, but not with people. Now. Full steam ahead. Locomotive set new record speed. Well, good for us. Off you trot. At a staggering 50 kilometers per hour. Americans using the metric system? Terrifying. Chugga 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 chugga. As I recall, that used to be an argument against high-speed locomotives. That people would not be able to survive in a vehicle traveling at such speeds. And that was when such speeds was something like 25 or 30 miles an hour. Right, can I set you to only carry passengers? Because that's what I need to do in one go. Manage train, rail cars. Ooh. Ticket revenue goes up with dining cars. But I'm looking to make you only go with passengers. Is such a thing even possible? It's got oil, it's got sand? What do trains use sand for? That's probably a stupid question, but I don't know. Braking. I imagine that puts out the fire, which will slow down the engines. To give it more grip if needed. That brings me back to some dire winters of my childhood. Okay, I don't know how to make it only pick up people. This manages the train. What about the train line? There was a... Oh, it was this, right? But setup is also editing. So if I edit it you, and I say... Priority, priority is passengers. Absolutely take passengers. Toppest priority there is. I hope that's for taking on rather than delivering. Oh, no waypointing here. Maybe I had to save it. Well, it matters not. Let's go, yeehaw. Let's go, yeehaw. Priority must be beer. This is pretty good. There is no point whatsoever in making a game about transport logistics if you can't make it enjoyable to observe. That can be done in many ways, and it doesn't have to be a visually there's a word I'm looking for and it's not coming to me. Anyway, it doesn't require you having very technically high-spec visuals. Well, this is great. Train is screaming. Probably because it has to go to Xi'an. Oh, this would be terrifying POV if there's a crash incoming. Okay, this train is overshooting, definitely. Right, please pick up 100 passengers. You've had to come to a stop because we're here. 30 grand! That's my kind of money. We've got some arguments about the flag that we have here representing the USA. And that is indeed not the 50 states flag. We will never accept Missouri. So you're gonna pick people up or what? Oh. Cheyenne cannot be reached. By who? You? Oh! Wait, what? Why are you on that? What? Okay, so... Make sure your things always connect. Gotcha. Be a rough thing to do if you were in debt. Is that even gonna work? I don't know if it will, but in it goes anyway. Alright, those don't look like passengers. Those look a lot like they're not passengers. They look a lot like beer, truth be told. Are you sure that you're prioritizing passengers? I mean, are you absolutely sure? Oh, shoot, we're adding more of these. I feel like we're not quite prioritizing passengers there. Waiting for Kelly Ranch to Denver. Waiting for... Have I messed something up big time here? Likely. Yeah, because you're trying to get to... Wait, what? Kelly Ranch in Denver. And you're waiting for Dodge City to Denver. So they have come at an impasse, but that's an impasse I have the power to change. I just don't really want to. I'll give him a little bypass, tell him to stop being so pathetic. Doesn't even cost that much to build, thankfully. And just say, sure, do whatever. But let's say that you're the one that goes this way, and you are the one that goes t'other way. Using the lessons that we were taught. So it should be good now, right? Brilliant. Although I'd rather just have 2 whole directions for rail. Rail doesn't seem that expensive as long as you're not plowing through mountains. A random breakdown again? Boy, these things are not reliable. How do you even fix randomly breaking down trains? Well, I was on such a train once. They sent a steam engine to go and haul it. Little Stockholm trains. Still, something ain't right here. Why did you not grab passengers? Maybe I need to say that you have the priority for passengers. But perhaps more likely is that this tiny train station barely reaches any passengers here at all. So it... oh my god. I gotta remember to close this thing off whenever that's happening. I probably need to expand you. Which I imagine is going to give you a bigger range. Is it a bigger range? I don't know, now I don't see a range on you. Well, let's make you absolutely huge, why not? Now maybe more people are going to get on it. Hopefully I don't get a repeat of a train... Whoa, something flew along here. Hopefully I don't get a repeat of a train magicking itself onto one of these tracks and then not being able to move. But I'm going to leave it like this in case it does happen, so I can be well aware that it's a possibility. Is there a win condition for this long play, asks TAC47. Now I hope that Tom Steedman is still around, because I would like a proper answer to that. When you put the long play into the long play suggestions, you just sound like you were foaming at the mouth at the thought of another Patrician 4 style long play, but when do we say, okay, this long play is completed? Because currently it's very unclear. Yeah, we've seen this before, and we know about building sidetracks, so don't bother telling us again. When you've played it long enough. Now that's just how you get a really unsatisfactory long play. I need to know what I'm working towards. All campaigns completed. What would be nice is if we have... Okay, here's an idea, throwing this one out. We do the America campaign, we do the Japan campaign, then we do whatever campaign that the public votes for, you the adoring public, and then we do a free play to make essentially the perfect Hansa of this game. Doing what we did in Patrician 4, but for a Railway Empire. I am pulling that out of my rear end, and that is better than no plan. There's only one campaign. No, there's a bunch of campaigns. We'll go over those once we've finished this, which is the first stage of the USA campaign. More Patty 5, you say? There is no Patty 5. There's no monorail here, and there never was. Okay, this is swell and all, but I need to transport passengers to Rock Springs from Cheyenne, and it doesn't seem to be happening for reasons unknown. We're just transporting beer. How do I get the passengers? Oh, well, look, we got passengers. How many, though? How many passengers can you fit in one passenger car? Also, I'm going to assume that's the passenger car. Tell me more. It doesn't want to. I just don't know. Maybe Rock Springs needs to be growing for people to want to go there. Ah, it's a fine place. It's almost got 60% of its demand. Oh, hey, oh well, express goods of people. Set up a passenger-only train. I don't know how to do that. God, Rock Springs looks like a grim, bloody place to be, doesn't it? Oh, we can choose to give them industry. Right, wasn't aware that that was something I could choose, and now that I do know, that's cool. New industry bonus of loads of money expires soon enough. I thought it was something like having to link up industry or build a new plantation, but no, they're talking about manufactured industry. Well then, how do you feel? Meaty? Brewery? Weavery? Tailory? Oh, I could build you sawmills since you're connected to the lumbering. Yes, it's the obvious thing to do. Wait, what do you mean it's a question cost? This factory is not available for building because the goods it produces are not in demand in any town. Well, now that is uncalled for. What else do you bring in here? Well, I could give you another brewery, but I'm not so sure about that one. Oh, don't I bring... No, that's salt. I thought it was cotton. Cotton is here. You're Laotian, ain't you, con? You know what? The Germans had it right, and the Germans brought this game to us. Let's have more beer. Must be in a valid construction site within a city. Where the heck's the construction sites? This type of industry is already established in the city. I don't really want to get weaving. Also, look at that. It's got this weird block-style building thing. Still probably better. Patrician 4 had a lot of freedom with its building, but it was a mistake. Make no bones about that. I don't really want to bring cotton over there. Sounds like a real hassle. But how about cotton from over here? Hey, now we're talking. Okay, you're going to get weaving whether you like it or not. Big fat bonus received, and that bonus is going straight towards bringing that cotton down here. So, give yourself a wee train station here. How are we going to do this? God, cooked chopping was far too large a line for this. But it's what I built, and it's what I'll have to live with. Music cuts out a lot. That was a common thing in Patrician as well. That's expensive. That is so damn expensive because I had to bridge. Bridge over what? I've got certifiably insane cartographers here who insist I need to build bridges. I don't think so. I can eyeball it cheaper than that. Not my product management. You know, connecting you up here is probably a bit of a mistake, so let's just give you an alternative route that you can take. There we go, ain't that something. Because of the steep incline, blah blah blah, not important. New train, new locomotive. Let's almost put ourselves into debt. And get you rolling. Now I'm sure there's a lack of signaling here that's going to bite me in the rear end. But I'm sure it's not important. This is quite the choke point. Any one train here is going to clog up anyone coming in. Well, probably not my problem. The way I see it, we'll get these tasks done real soon, and then we're good to go. But how in the world are we not getting people over to Rocky Springs? Oh, they're arriving now. Hopefully it was 100 of them. That didn't look like 100. No, it was 18 people. Getting 100 folks over there is going to be a bit rough, isn't it? 1868. I'm not going to get it done by 1868. It's already 1864. And I've got staggering 8... I knew it. They might collide in the same stretch of rail. Yeah, they're all mucked up here, aren't they? Well, I'll tell you what, how about... Maybe, we get rid of you. We have you connected up like so, like so, like... Oh, jeez, it does not like this, does it? I hope I didn't delete too much of that track. Oh, I deleted all of that track! Well, that's not good at all. That isn't good at all. Looky here, you get up over there. I hope I got a refund on all that track I destroyed. How are you meant to hook these guys together? I want them all to merge into one, but they don't look like they want to do that at all. It certainly doesn't like that. And it doesn't like that either for some reason. There, a thing of relative beauty. I'm not going to claim that I really know what I'm looking at here, but I am looking at it. And we'll make sure everybody gets their supplies when they're coming in or out of there. And we'll make sure this is signaled up as well somehow. Italian rails in America. Alright, how you like that, guys? Well, they like it enough to stop complaining. You gonna stop for supplies? Yes, because you're low on water. Up goes your water, and off you trot. That was some acceleration. We was can never be too much DACA. Oh, that's right. The thought was to give Rock Springs some actual infrastructure. Not infrastructure, industry. But we can't. I can't English good today. Too much Nippon. So how do I know how many people are wanting to get the heck out of Cheyenne? Only 8 passengers are waiting, and I need over 100. That's not good. Try 2 sets of tracks next to each other. The signs set the direction of the tracks. Yeah, I like that. The trouble is then I'd need to build 2 tracks next to each other, which is going to be double the price. Double of not much isn't much, but, you know, I'm not going to redo all this stuff for that. I will probably do that going forward. Ooh, we got a lot of innovation points that I have not been spending. The time passengers in cities wait for trains, up 20%. Number of passengers in every city, up 8%. Yep, we do need more oh, wow, they're spent already. Tragic. Number of passengers by 8. Yep, get me those passengers. We need passengers. Random break. Oh, that's going to get real old, isn't it? How many passengers waiting now? A whole 9. Doubling up gets you like a 90% discount. Ooh, I like that. Is that so? Is there a doubling up discount? Doesn't look like it. That stretch still costs 20 grand. And what about just a regular stretch of similar length? What, you need a starting point? Madness. Well, let's imagine we had somebody just dossing off over here. Yeah, still seems expensive. Might not be able to afford that on more advanced maps. What is with this game? I don't like having no background music, and the background music just plays this 30-second clip of whoop-de-doo music, and then it comes to a grinding halt. Now it's not that the music's quiet, there is no music. Oh well, no, there's something. There's some woodwindy thing happening back there. Right, I am very unsure how I'm going to get these 100 passengers over there and... Oh, well, no, that 18 was probably the batch of 18 we got before. How many people have you got here? Can I see how many you're carrying right now, actually? I think I tried to before, but couldn't. Still can't. Play RimWorld music. I think I'll look into the music situation for the next stream of it. Oh, well, it looks like without stopping, it means on one train course, right? Not a single train, but a single train line. So if you just go back and forth with passengers, we're all going to be hunky-dory then. Swell. Then that means one other thing I want to do is not have these people picked up by other trains. So if I check your train list, and I check the Cheyenne to wherever else you go. Cook Chopping, Jackson Trow, Adams Farms. Do you only go to industry? Cook Chopping and Adams Farm. Where's the Jackson Trow? Huh, okay, well I guess the... What, really? I don't have you just connected here? Well, fair enough. Might go away to explaining the lack of people, but... Well, Cheyenne does what Cheyenne wants. I haven't poked over here in a while. I am contributing massively to the rapid industrialization of North Platte, which kind of disgusts me as a person. I hate cities. I used to really not like cities as a kid, then I grew to quite like them, and now I hate them. Stockholm's a tiny place, and it's already too big for me. Campbell family has got in touch with you. Their rural business is experiencing difficulties. They're looking for an investor. Take over their business. No! Why do they want all my money? Actually, I probably should have taken yes to that just to find out how it works. Breed with the Campbells. You try and tell me that there's not sand and lubricant along this track? I'm quite certain I put sand and lubricant. But if you... Oh, hey! Wait, am I bridging over a bunch of land that I myself put there? That seems bizarre. There you go, have that. Now, there are some cities that I do really like. I really liked Riga, and I loved Vilnius. But my limited experience of American cities tell me those are hell on earth. If there's a place worse in the world than San Francisco, I don't even want to know of it. And it's games like this that model the creation of such failed states. Jake, old-timey trains couldn't handle steep inclines, so they would bridge over dips in the terrain. Sure, but it feels like we're creating the dip. I mean, look. La la la, lovely flat ground, and oh, why are we building up this mound? Oh, we're building up this mound to get over this dip that we've created by making this mound. I think I'm getting short-sold by these people. Curious about tunneling through this stuff, though. Let's say I wanted to. I don't, but let's play make-believe. Wow, 500,000 to get in there. It's like going through Space Mountain. Oddly enough, not that interested. The real X Parker saying, oh god, how could I don't know, how could you? A couple of years back, people got all up in my case because you never know when my streams are going to be. And I figured, well, if I'm going full-time, I'm going to have a proper schedule for it. And by and large, I stick to my schedule. It's public, anyone can view it. You could add it to your own Google Diaries if you want. Ain't no excuse. And I don't take being a new worlder as an excuse. Somehow the meat isn't making it to Cheyenne. Why is that? The meat is created in Denver, and Denver goes to Cheyenne. Why would it not get all meaty on me? Let us investigate further. Look at your train lists. Did I repurpose the Denver-Cheyenne train? Hugo Dodge... No, it goes by a different name altogether. This is fine altogether. This is the one which goes all over the place. But it does go from Denver to Cheyenne, and it could, would, and should deliver that meat. It's just doing it very, very slowly. You overburdened it. Yeah, it might want another train that goes between these places. This tiny little bit of track is overburdened, that's for sure. Well, you know, it's not like I'm struggling on the money. So let's get ourselves a lovely new Dragoon and give it a new rail line that is strictly going between these places. Lovely jubbly. Except in Xi'an, you are not allowed to get passengers. Those all need to go to Rock City over here. Well, chop bloody chop. Get to it. It's loading up on things. I hope it's meat. It is nothing but meat. You'd love to carry on, maybe go into one of the other 3 places we have here, but you won't. Because someone around here cannot into train lines.
Thanks to you. And for each mile of track that we lay, we receive 10 square miles of land. The politicians have no idea of the value of the assets they're giving away, but that stays between us.
We're go-getters, don't you know? The Feronians would understand. Ooh, Rock Springs did decide on their own industry here. They've decided on clothing, which requires cloth, which could come in from Denver... No, Cheyenne. In fact, between all of the people that were taken around, hopefully that's exactly what's happening. I'm happy enough for you to bring passengers up to Xi'an. Might increase the amount of passengers that we can take here. Chugga, 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 chugga. Okay, well, the only thing we have left to do is... Hang on. It slows the game down when you're in train mode. Oh, that's agonizing. I wanted to very quickly ride along with the train, but it seems we can't have that. Maybe the animation's kind of... Yeah, maybe that's not a very good thing to look at close up on speedy mode. But I don't care, I wanted to see it.
Progress is enormous. The Far West is no longer so far away anymore, and the people are slowly realizing that trade helps create prospering cities. We still have a long way to go, but the Transcontinental Railroad is coming.
Damn right it is.
In spite of all the challenges, the Union Pacific Railroad managed to cross the endless expanses of the Great Plains and conquer the merciless slopes of the Rocky Mountains. The Central Pacific Railroad approached from the west, but the winter of 1868 brought all work to a standstill. The 2 lines lay just a few hundred miles across from each other, in the middle of nowhere in the mountains. The dream of the first transcontinental railroad seemed to be within touching distance, but was buried by house-high masses of snow and blown away by icy snowstorms, a dream that had begun almost 4 decades before.
Well, damn, I got a fairly high rating there. They rate me as the manager. And given that he described us as the chief engineer before, I dare say we got ourselves a promotion tomorrow. Right, 8 out of 8 on tasks, 20 out of 20 on time rating. Oh, there is a difficulty rating. I need to look into how that can be modified here. Campaign, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Damn right we did good. We did almost too good. Right, let's look back at what the campaign involves here. That was only chapter 1 of it. There's chapter 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll get all of that done. But on top of that, there are scenarios. Yeah, I'm not looking at this scenario. I'm going to get my hands on the Japanese scenario, and we're going to do that. And just because it's my home, we're also going to do Great Britain and Ireland. And you can choose the other scenario. I'll put it up to vote later on, not anytime soon, but once we've chewed through these. And then we're going to do a free play. It does have free play, right? Oh, thank goodness. Oh, ooh. You can choose where. Except many of them are DLC locked. I gotta get my hands on... the Germans are going to vote for Germany, of course they are. Need to think what can be done to counter the German menace. Those are the plans, but we're going to continue on with this later on. I just wanted to dip my toes into this game. Gives me an idea of what I need to sort out for future streams, like some actual background music for this music-devoid game. So we shall continue this on tomorrow after yet more Moonrune Factory 5. Until that happens though, from me, it's a cheers and a choo-choo.